What a weekend. This weekend just gone, we did an event with Buck and Beard, the beard product range that we have, part of our businesses. And it was an event that it was a bit of a gamble. It was a gamble for everybody, really. We went down to Bendigo for an event called Meatstock. Meatstock in Australia and New Zealand. What it is a big weekend of barbecue, beer, bands, all sorts of stuff. And as an attendee, it would have been awesome. The first day, the Saturday, so we bumped in on this from the Friday, then we went down for trade on the Saturday and the Sunday. On the Saturday, it was fully booked out, absolutely fully booked out. 12,000 people, I think it was, that came through the gates, and we were busy. What this event is, it was really cool. I would go there just as an attendee. It was a bloody good event. They do so many things that we didn't realise were the actual thing. So they do these in Sydney, Toowoomba, Melbourne, and Hamilton in New Zealand. And what normally happens is they go to Melbourne, and this year, and I think they've done it for like 5 years or so, this year in Melbourne, all the councils down there are a little bit friggin'... I'm sure if it was a vegan bloody tofu grilling competition, it would have been fine. But all these guys had to jump through hoops, and that's just how councils are now. They're so woke and crazy to bring, 10, 20, 30,000 people over a weekend and bring about $5 million to your economy. They didn't do it. And the organisers went to Bendigo Council and said, hey, we'd like to do this. And they went, absolutely, that's perfect. Bring it to the regions, and it was a massive success. So at this event, there's barbecue, and there's a rodeo, professional bull riding rodeo. There's smokers, there's bands, there's barbecue, there's strongman competitions, there's barbecue, there's dad bod and beard competitions and mustache competitions and mullet competitions, and there's barbecue, and then there's a heap of expo as far as things that you can buy, like knives for cutting up your meat, barbecues, rubs, sauces, beard products from us, all that sort of stuff, like leather goods, knives. There were so many things. I could have spent a bloody fortune, to be honest. There's also barbecue, and some of the biggest and most colourful barbecues, like the way that these things work. So my barbecue, it's a little half chubby. It's like 1 metre long, maybe 1.5 metres long, and it does us just fine. It's an offset smoker. But what we saw there, these things were the biggest in Australia, probably the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, some of them, and they would fit on the back of a semi-trailer. I don't know how. There was one guy that I went to on the Saturday, just when I went for a walk around to have a look, and he was saying they come down from Sydney, and he opened up one of the doors on his smoker, and he had 13 briskets in there. It was crazy. It was so much food. There's competitions for barbecue as well at this event. So if you're into barbecue at all, this is absolutely worth going to. They do it every year. I think next month it's in Sydney at the Sydney Olympic Park. But at this event, for us, so it was a gamble for the organisers going to Bendigo. It was a gamble for us because we weren't sure if it fit. The way that their marketing and stuff worked, we both thought this might work. It was a very expensive event to go to from a vendor's point of view, but it was worth it. It absolutely was worth it. Like, you've got to pay that money. We sponsored a couple of events as well. So inside there's a big stage set up for competition. So for the barbecue competitions, then there was a sausage eating competition. So think of a Bunnings sausage without the onion. You'd have a piece of bread, a sausage, sauce, chow down sort of thing. And there was like a professional eating competition for those. And the guy that won it, he did, I think it was 14 sausages and bread in 3 minutes. I can't even fathom that. There was a young Asian fella, and these are all professional eaters. And when they introduced him, they said he holds the record in South Korea for 72 tacos in like 8 minutes. And And I thought, that's got to be wrong. You made a mistake. And then I watched this guy chowing down on sausages and I went, yeah, I believe that. They were just like pushing them in. It was crazy. It was funny. It was very entertaining to watch. But then they had other competitions. So because we were sponsoring part of the event, we sponsored, or Buck and Beard sponsored the beard competition. So who had the best beard and who had the best mustache. But so Sarah actually got to go and judge this. And part of the judging of this was, so those two, the beard competition, the mustache competition, then the mullet competition, short on the front and big party on the back, like long hair at the back. The hairy chest competition and the dad bod competition. And the dad bod, I was over at the stall still like doing trade with customers, and Sarah was up on the stage doing the judging. So they'd come out, she'd write a score. There was 3 girls, they'd write a score on their whiteboard and show it. But the guy that won the dad bod, have a look at this. Absolutely bloody hilarious. This guy has won it a few years in a row and he's absolutely a big showman about it all. And kudos to you, man. Like, good on you. It was pretty funny. The whole place was just going nuts. So between that, and then there was some butchering competitions, which I don't think I got any footage of that, where they had local butchers come in and they would butcher half a cow, half a side of beef. And then they had apprentice butchers come in and do the same thing. So I won't say it's a dying thing. It's certainly not dying. Like, you look at the crowd around and it's certainly not a dying hobby or following of barbecuing and meat eating. But to see these young fellas who were like first and second, maybe third year apprentices doing butchering as a it was pretty cool. And the guys that won, like, you really felt good on you, man. Like, this young kid who's just won butchering, like, a trade in a competition, like, good on you. The best thing for us was the amount of return customers that we had. Because we're local to Bendigo, it's like an hour from us. The amount of people that come in and like, where are you from? Kahuna. Oh yeah, we know Kahuna here. And the amount of people that came in, and because we've been to Bendigo a fair bit, we've got a good presence in Bendigo. The amount of people coming up, bringing their friends, saying, get this one, it was really good. This is the one I use. It was very cool. Like, the brand is very, very young. It's only a year old. And to have all these people coming and bringing their friends along to say, hey, go and buy this. This stuff's really good. It's pretty cool. Like, both of us were like, it's so cool that stuff that we've made, this brand that we've built, to have people coming in and bringing their friends. That's very cool. It happens with Windella Farm products all the time, but it's nice to see it happening with the Buck and Beard stuff as well.